It is Tuesday edition, and it's been a while. Good to have you back. How are you? I hope you had a very good night rest. Now that we're here, we have lined up so many programs for your viewing pleasure this morning, and the press review is number one in the list. So if you stay by, I'll take a break, come back, and then we hit the ground running. By the way, my name is Ijoma Uche. Welcome. Okay, welcome back. Joining me this morning for the press review is Paulson Okeke. Paulson Okeke is a public affairs analyst. Good morning, Paulson.
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, Ijoma. Thank God for your being back.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's start from the stories making the rounds from our website this morning. The number one story is Orumba North Council launches Community Choose Your Project Initiative. Anambra State Tourism Commissioner Laos Adora Saludo on Anambra Fashion Expo initiative. Anambra State Assembly commences verification of audited accounts of 21 local government councils. And finally from here, construction work commences on Olibe Street, Amobi. I'm sorry if I didn't get that name correctly. Okay, these are many more the stories that are making the round from our website this morning, which you can still go and get details. But for now, let's see how far we can go, letting you know exactly what those stories are talking about. Anambra North Council area launches Chosen Project Initiative. I think this is a state government initiative whereby you go to each town to ask them what exactly do you want government to do for you. It started for some time now. And now it has extended to local government person, maybe asking villages or towns for what they want.
Communities.
Okay.
I think it is a good initiative from the local government because it will ensure that monies meant for the local government is judiciously used. But where the communities and the local government council partner to identify areas of needs, then they begin to tackle it in that area. So it is good. It won't be one area where the council boss will stay in the council secretariat and decide what will go to Ufuma, for instance, or what will go to Amoabala, for instance. But now it is a thing that both all the community leaders will sit together with the council chairman and they discuss. So it is worth doing. I think I wish every other local government will emulate such step because it will properly identify areas of need.
Okay. And just last weekend, we witnessed Fashion Expo, Anambra Fashion Expo in the States, as was powered by Adora Soludo. I think it's the daughter of the first daughter of the state, because that's what we got to hear from the federal lineup, that we have first son and first daughters.
Yeah, Fashion Expo is very good because it will bring together all potentials, all fashion, all people, everybody who is in fashion industry. bring them together to come and display what they are doing. They come with various designs, various concepts, at least to present and showcase that these are what we are doing here, these are what we have here. People will come, they can still do their purchases, and they can still show what they produce as well, whereby at the end of the day, if they do it well, they attract people from other states, people from other countries even, because we know that fashion is one industry that is still growing, and people are now taking advantage to key into it to see how far they can to improve their well-being. So it is very good.
Okay, very good indeed. And coming from the Tourism Commission, the Culture and Tourism Commission, I think they're doing very well there. There are a lot of things that are coming out from that commission.
Yeah, from that ministry.
Okay, yes. Oh yeah, Anambra State Assembly commences verification of audited accounts of the 21 local governments.
Yeah, when I saw sorry, I said this is very good because it will make the House of Assembly in their oversight function to look into the monies allocated to various local governments and see how they spend these monies. It's not just you give somebody money to work, but you ask him, what did you do with this money? He said, we constructed road. Where did you construct the road? If you go there on a visitation, you see the road that was constructed. Then you will agree with the person that the money was spent very well. It's not just to give them money without monitoring what they do and how they spend the money, no. Verifying the audited account will make the House of Assembly to be on top of the situation on the expenditures of the local government. And it will make other local government chairmen or the local government chairman themselves to be conscious that this money that is being given to you is not given to you for a tea party or for you to go and begin to spend and take chieftaincy titles, and as the case may be, but to use it to work for your local government to improve the lives in the rural communities. So that is why this verifying the audited accounts is very, very good, very important.
Finally from here, there are a lot of construction works going on, though we had this heavy downpour that's been threatening these construction works in the state, but they just announced that that's of the Onulibe Street.
Onulibe Street has commenced.
Onulibe Street, yes, has commenced.
Yeah, it is not just Onulibe Street. There are construction works, like you said, going on. Like most of the time, people will say Anambra is like a construction site because everywhere you go, corners, you see construction. If you go inside Oka, you see marvelous work being there, especially in Umuike Axis, where erosion had devastated many, many homes. And now governor has intervened and is trying to put a stop to it by doing massive road construction and massive drainages as well, so that the volume of water we experience in this area will be contained whenever it rains. The floodings we just follow normal channels and stop destroying people's homes.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's now get into the papers and then the front pages of the newspapers and get what's trending there too. Our first paper this morning is the Daily Sun. Beside the next template, we'll have the stories that, heated screen. Was it 2 days ago? ASP gets death sentence for Christmas Day murder of female lawyer. But the banner headline there says, Nigeria to export fuel next year. Federal government is saying this, that Nigeria will export fuel next year. With the writer there, Kiari says, removal of subsidies saved NNPC from bankruptcy. Why is the subsidy removed? Okay. And then down here, Israel plans ground assault as Qatar holds talks with Hamas. And church leaders charge Tinubu to end insecurity. Police rescue 171 kidnapped victims from terrorists in Castina. And by my right-hand side, I have more Knox trail NBC threats to media. And then Mba gets assembly notes to borrow 170 billion naira for capital projects. And others, what are they doing with the money that's coming from the federal allocations? Okay, no problems. Let's move on. The Daily Times is our next paper. Remove Tinubu as president. No further evidence required. Article tells Supreme Court. Remove Tinubu as president. No further evidence required. Says first certificate to INEC, weighty constitutional matter, and then cites Apex Court judgment on first certificate. 20 paragraph affidavit deposed in support of appeal. This is going to be, I mean, I think, okay, let's see. There's a distraction in the world now. Otherwise, this ruling would have been one of a kind. Wike ignores court orders, demolishes multi-billion naira property near Bajabiamila's residence. Wike ignores court orders. Okay. Crisis looms in Imo community over land seizure by governor's agent. Oba of Benin introduces 1 month fasting to traditional festivals. Wow. And down here, gaming, federal government rubs its hands over expected billions of naira. Whatever that one means. Okay. I see the writer gives note for international conference, foreign investors coming. Okay, that's all we'll take from that paper, the Daily Times. Punch newspaper is our next paper. Federal government denies subsidy return, more fuel stations short. And NMPCL blames pockets of fuel queues on road delays. What is wrong with the road? What is bringing the delays on the road? 25 refinery licenses idle over subsidy, says Kiari. We have seen the story. A slain lawyer, Lagos MBA, welcomes death sentence for killer call. Okay, let's start talking. My guest, we started with Nigeria exporting fuel next year.
I want us to take on the killer cop. The death sentence issued, the death sentence on the killer cop of a Lagos lawyer that happened last December. In that case, you see the outcry when a pregnant woman who was returning from church on a Christmas day was shot dead by policemen on road stop and search in the Lekki area in Lagos. And you see the public outcry. And it becomes one death too many for Nigerians. So the judgment, and I like maybe because she was a lawyer, and you see the speed with which the trial was followed, and they concluded it. This death sentence, I wish other killer cops were tried and sentenced in this manner, so that it will be serving as deterrent to many others on the street who handle gun who handles gun carelessly. That is one thing, because what happens in this country is that whenever issues like this happen, most of the time people are shielded from facing trials. People were treated it lackadaisically, as if it is not a life of a human being that was involved. But look at the MBA stood out, and they followed the trial to conclusion, and eventually they got judgment. How I wish that the sentence would be carried out, so that whoever that is engaging on extrajudicial killings should know the consequences. It is not just that you're on a checkpoint, you carry gun, you point gun, before you know it, you fire. For what for? Were you asked to do that? Was he a criminal? Was that place a crime scene?
When last did you see anybody killed, hanged, executed because of the judgments, death sentence in this country?
That is why I said I wish it would be carried out, so that people will be learning their lessons. Now to the front banner, Nigeria to export fuel next year. I laughed when I saw Group Managing Director NNPC on the television saying all these things in a parley with Pengassan. And I was like, please, let us have fuel in the country first before we begin to talk about export. Because you don't have your refineries working, and we were promised they will start working. At least Warri and Port Harcourt will start working by December. Then have we met domestic consumption before we begin to talk about export? So I saw it as one of those talks where leaders will always mount the rostrum and say anything they like, and people will clap for them. Without, at the end of the day, the moment he comes down from the rostrum, everybody goes home. No follow-up to such statement. When Mele Kaire was talking, people were excited. Nigeria will begin to export fuel next year. Which Nigeria? That was the question I asked. Which Nigeria? Nigeria that is still battling with withdrawal of fuel subsidy, when we don't have the one we are using here. And look at in the north where they were saying, giving a reason. The man gave the same reason, that why we have petroleum scarcity in some parts of the country was because the road was bad. So tankers conveying fuel could not move. So the ones they have in those states got dried up, so before they get next supply. Who is to be blamed? Our roads are so bad, and we're in rainy season, so, and which makes the road worse. Now we are talking about we are talking about flooding, the release of water from Lajo Dam in Cameroon. When it comes down, Kogi State normally the road will be impassable, and then Kogi Abuja will be suffering. So these are the problems we have until we find a system of conveying fuel and stop using tankers, because I know that using tankers has caused a lot of problem on our roads, because all these tankers conveying fuel from Lagos to Kano, Kaduna, and so on, they all ply our roads. If they say they are sincere with rehabilitation of our roads, of the rail system, they should do it fast so that we go back on using railway coaches to convey fuel, and it will be better for us as a people.
Okay, Kiara said that for the removal of the fuel subsidy, that it saved them from going bankruptcy.
Yeah. Did he not say this thing when Buhari was there? When he was enjoying the subsidy? Because he was the part of the cartel that is enjoying the subsidy money. Because they must come back to do returns to him. Why didn't he say it? Or why didn't he suggest to Mr. President to withdraw subsidy, to stop this subsidy thing? Now somebody has had the courage to withdraw it, even though Nigerians are suffering. But at least it's better than a continuous payment of subsidy. What are we quarreling with? What we quarrel with is the withdrawal was not planned. Because if he had wanted to plan, if he had planned the withdrawal of subsidy, what he would do is to put refineries in place and put other machineries in place before withdrawal, other than withdraw the subsidy and the people are suffering. So, but NNPC was part of the cartel that encourages payment of subsidy. So it wouldn't be deceiving us or telling us something else now.
I see. Okay, let's look at what Daily Times says. Coming from Atiku, remove Tinubu as president, no further evidence required. Atiku tells Supreme Court. And like I said earlier, that this is one judgment that if the world is not being distracted by the war in Gaza, that this is one judgment they will want to see, following what has been, been dishing out concerning the Supreme Court judgment on this certificate forgery. Okay, haven't seen what happened in 2017 and a whole lot of things concerning the particular issue. Do you see them listening or adhering to Atiku's plea?
My dear, everything is possible in this country. I don't see, going by what has happened in this country, Atiku's effort may end up being only an effort, because in Supreme Court, well, I don't know, let me not sound biased. but let us watch them to do what they are supposed to do. Because Igbos have this saying, people have been disqualified based on certificate forgery in this country. Even additional evidence at appellate level, that at Supreme Court level, people have taken evidence and went to Supreme Court and they still entertained it and listened to it and gave judgment on it. Like one of the analysts on the television was discussing yesterday, he said one of the loudest and notable voices in this country, Wale Olanibeku, had taken evidence to Supreme Court level and additional evidence, to Supreme Court level, and it was accepted and it was acted upon. So for people to say, yeah, it is late, you cannot take it at this level, I think they may not be following the law. Because the Supreme Court has a precedence, except they are going to jettison the precedence which they have set.
They do a lot of things in this country.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. They have a precedence where at the appellate level, at that Supreme Court level, they say accepted fresh evidence, and they acted on it. And it was this Wala Olanibekun that took the evidence to Supreme Court.
Okay, you know, like they said that this is a constitutional matter, like what happened during the Mesoma case, whereby JAM came out to say that this is not our result, we didn't give her this result, and based on that, everything about that was sorted out. You are not part of this, you are that, and she was punished for her offense. Yeah. Now, what do you call it, Chicago State University came out to say that this is not our result, we have a result, but this particular one that is submitted to INEC is not from us, okay? So is it not enough for the Constitution to take its toll without even going to court, that this gentleman should resign because automatically you have violated the Constitution that says you must not submit any forged certificate?
My sister, you see in this country, for people who say that Nigeria is a huge joke, at times they don't make mistake. Some who say Nigeria is paradox, is a paradox of value, or Nigeria is a paradox. They are the same thing. One thing is that when an institution, an issuing institution, denies a particular result it was supposed to have been issued, it means that that result is fake. And that is the case we are trying to handle. But people have stood up to defend it. That is where the problem is. When people begin to defend the indefensible, I've been following the argument every day, and you see people stand up defending it with their, just as if to say that, oh, Chicago State University is wrong, that they must accept that certificate. And you keep wondering, if UNIZIC says we never issued this certificate, I mean, what other evidence do you need?
You must accept that you issued it.
So UNIZIC must accept that they issued a particular university.
As long as it's bearing your logo, you must accept it, whether you issued it or not.
So that is one problem we have. And we keep on saying all these things are politics, because the issue at stake is quite germane and very, very open, very clear to everybody to understand. But Nigerians have put politics into it. We keep on saying, even if Supreme Court says, no, we are not going to take it, it is late, it is nothing, there's one question that will continue to trail it: moral value, moral burden on the president. That is it. The case of Mesoma, everybody stood up against her. Everybody condemned her in totality. Mesoma, the poor girl, had to be made to apologize on national television. And the JAM sanctioned her. And JAM has not withdrawn that sanction. So there are precedents here and there that has been set. Okay. Salisu Buhari, one-time Speaker of House of Representatives in 1999, was accused of certificate forgery. He resigned.
And apologized.
There have been many other people like that. So let us see how this particular case will end.
Okay. As we are watching, let's get to the nation newspaper and take this story. Tinubu, I am focused on lifting Nigeria to greatness. So this one you are talking about, certificate, is your business. As far as I'm concerned, my business here is to lift Nigeria to greatness. Okay, we're going to join this with this other story that I saw here that really scared me. I feel like running back home now to do something. Cooking gas price hits 1,200 naira per kg, and Tinubu's economic policies going awry. This is coming from Financial Times. So is this what he's focusing on doing? Focusing on bringing out policies that is strangulating the economy and a whole lot of things.
I keep on wondering, whenever Mr. President, like, there's always this news clip that they insert every night in between news. And the president will be talking about his vision for this country. And each time he says it, I keep on wondering, if this is the way to take us to that El Dorado, Mr. President, maybe by the time we get to El Dorado,
leave us where you met us.
Take us back to where you met us. By the time we get to El Dorado, at least we may have all died. Because
maybe
the situation,
their own idea of El Dorado.
The situation Nigeria is currently undergoing is very, very strangulating. And I don't know how many people can survive it. People are the case of suicide is very high now. And so many others. People are barely living, and yet you are promising us El Dorado. What are you going to do? Start doing it now, so that you cushion the effect of the hardship, ameliorate the condition of living. Then gradually, getting to El Dorado will not be what will be done in one day. At least it has to take short time, medium term, and long term. And not just immediately you want to get to where you are going without planning for it. Because that is the problem. If you are planning, plan gradually. Let us not all suffocate because you are planning to take us to El Dorado. That is what I'm saying.
If there's any plan at all. Okay, let's look at this other story from Vanguard. Envoy stranded as federal government foot drags on implementation. I know sometime last month they were, that's a recalling of the ambassadors. They were recalled that the president said that all the ambassadors should come back home, perhaps for replacements. And then I read some of the writers here that really scared me, because when we want to talk about rule of law, people disobeying rule of law, you think it will just end on your own table, in your own table, because you want to achieve something. Every other person in this country wants to achieve something. When you disobey as the rule of law, as a leader, what do you expect from your followers? Look at what they're saying here. No machinery in motion for envoys return. Sources is saying that, say ambassadors yet to receive AIF's cash backing. And this other one said, I won't return without getting my entitlement, envoys. So it's not a matter of you placing order for them to come. I won't return without getting my entitlement, envoy insists. Okay, overzealous politicians, pressuring, hurting the process. Okay, and that's exactly what some of us are suspecting, that these are coming from the politicians that want to be, compensated for the role they played during the campaigns, record these people and then send us, let us go and cut our own international cake now, not national cakes. Okay, and then the last one there say, notes they have destroyed Foreign Affairs Ministry, with this, talking about what the overzealous politicians are doing. Okay, so how can you recall your ambassadors and they say they are not coming?
No, it is not just that. It is because the system, there's no sanity in the system. That is one thing. Because if you want to recall him, you put in here. His entitlements are not paid. Like one who said, the entitlements are not paid, maybe for over years. And they've been trying to manage there because they have been used to that particular country that they are living in. And you now want to recall him. Are you recalling him barehandedly? Are you recalling him without paying his entitlements, maybe for 2 years or more? He has not gotten his entitlement. And they're just trying to make lives make lives meet up.
So why wouldn't you pay entitlement? Is it because you don't have money or what?
Yeah, don't forget the last administration.
You don't have money?
Because they keep on borrowing and borrowing and borrowing.
And what are they doing with the money they borrowed?
Or
what did they do?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Because it is that mismanagement we always talk about. They borrow funds, they misapply it. They divert it to other purposes and leave crucial areas.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's look at this. What's going on in Gaza? Israel intensifies attack and forces total blockade on Gaza. What exactly is going on there? Are we witnessing the Third World War? Because the kind of the things that is still coming from the Gaza now is so scary. And like I said, what we were discussing yesterday, that if it is just war, that they are used to fighting war, but this is a rage of anger, and it's difficult to stop.
You see, in Middle East, don't forget that Middle East has always been center of war. As much as the little history I know about the Middle East had known no peace, especially when it comes to the areas between Israel and Palestine. Gaza is part of it. And Gaza is under the control of a group that is called Hamas. Then it's this
group
Hamas.
Of who? Group of what? Who are they?
Group of Muslim group.
Are they terrorists or bandits?
They are militants.
Or is Hamas a state? Somebody was asking, is Hamas a state?
Hamas is a group of militants controlling part of Gaza Strip. So it is this Hamas group that attacks Israel, whatever the problem is.
Where are they from?
But they're Palestinian.
Okay, good. That's what I want to know.
Now, fine.
Are they being supported by the Palestinian government?
Of course.
To be doing what they're doing?
Of course.
Like,
that's the problem.
Like we have some militants here that are being supported by the government?
Don't forget, Israel and the Palestinians are two neighbors, but they are two strange enemies as well. So various groups, United Nations have tried to provide peace in Jerusalem, but because part of Jerusalem is part of Palestine and part of Israel. So there's always been this conflict. So, but the latest conflict is that they said a group of Hamas drove into a crowd, people who were doing celebration in Israel, and killed over 200 people. So trust Israel. So now they said, we can't take this in. We can't take this anymore.
Killed some, abducted hundreds of them.
Women
and children and the old people, just like that, displaying them on the streets of Palestinian, that this is our exploit.
Fine.
Nobody takes that kind of thing.
So no country will take it.
No, except
and
maybe Nigeria.
That is why Israel has said, no, let us fight this battle once and for all. But people will always say Israel will many at times try to kill a fly with a sledgehammer. Because whenever Israel begins to fight back, people will begin to shout. And then there will be reactions in the Islam world. Before you know it, it will come to Nigeria. Our northern brother will begin to kill the Christian brothers living amongst them.
No, has anybody, any of the countries of the Middle East condemned what the Hamas did? That's what I've been looking out for.
But
has any of them condemned what the Hamas did?
They cannot condemn because one...
How can you drive into a country of people that are celebrating, killed over 100 of their soldiers, took over everywhere, and start killing people just like that? So
that will tell you that that war or that enmity had been there. And they've been planning how to attack Israel. And they have tacit support of people like Iran and some others.
But they come to think about what happened to the Israeli intelligence. What happened to Mossad?
This is the question many people are asking. Where were Israeli intelligence, excuse me, when all these plans were being done until it is done? So it's a problem, and many people condemn it. Outside the territories of the Middle East, America has not spoken, but others have said it is not good on the side of Israel.
America said they stand with Israel on this.
Some others will say it is not good on the side of the Hamas, and so on. You see, this is one thing until United Nations stands up to say, Israel, live your life the way you want to live it. Start from here. And they've done that before, but it continues to fail. So I don't know. Until the two neighbors agrees to do away with war and live in peace. That is when we will have peace in the Middle East.
Okay, like you said, how are we going to control this, manage this so it doesn't get out of control? Because as it stands, it looks like a religious war. Okay, that people, like you said, from the Middle East, Muslims will start supporting the Hamas. But these Hamas people, they are militant groups. They don't do anybody any good. Because it's not because they are fighting Israel. When they come into your country, they create problems. No, whether you are a Muslim nation or whatever.
They are like the military wing of the Palestinian government.
Don't they have military? What do you mean
they have. But this Hamas is a militant group. At times, they keep on causing problems in the Middle East. And that is why every time Israel has been their target.
And the Middle East governments, all the countries in the Middle East couldn't come together to address that problem. Since they don't just cause this problem to the Israelis, it's also to every other person around that region.
There has been no peace in the Middle East is one thing you know. Don't forget Lebanon. I had a friend, a Lebanese friend, who said, as at the time I knew him, he was 49 years. And he told me that for 49 years of his life, that they have never known peace in Lebanon.
Why is it like that?
I don't know. It is just like people's intolerance. That's all.
Thank you very much, Paulson Okeke. Thank you for joining us this morning. And this is where we're drawing the curtain on today's edition of the Press Review. God keeping us. We'll be here tomorrow to continue from where we stopped. My name is Ijoma. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Great news for Anambra Broadcasting Service ABS audience. You can now watch ABS television through any of these ways.
Buy a terrestrial antenna and connect to your television. Search ABS Channel 24 Oka or ABS Channel 27 Onitsha. Install StarTimes cable decoder and search ABS Channel 113. Install Metro Digital cable decoder and search ABS Channel 29.
Watch ABS TV on your smart TV or smartphone by downloading Anambra Broadcasting Service app on Google Play Store. Also watch via ABS Facebook page at ABS Radio Television and ABS YouTube page at ABS Television Oka.
ABS TV is now also on satellite. You can watch us from anywhere in Nigeria and other African countries. Simply install our TV decoder brand and tune to channel 315 or install any free-to-air satellite decoder and search for ABS TV.
Whichever option you choose, stay abreast of breaking news, documentaries, children's shows, talk shows, comedy, sports, movies, and lots more on your darling TV station.
For adverts and program sponsorship, contact 0803 388 8526 or 0806 883 9902.
ABS, Heartbeat of the East.
anyị bụ Prọfesọ Charles Chukwuma Soludo CFR ekpebigo ime ka Anambra steeti nwee agamniru n'ọrụ ugbo otu ọ dịbụ na mbụ oge Dr. Michael Okpara na-achị dịka Premier Eastern Region.
Dr. Michael Okpara gbanwere Eastern Region mgbe ahụ ka ọ bụrụ otu n'ime mpaghara ndị ahụ akụnụba ha na-eme ọfụma n'ụwa niile.
Ọrụ mmepe mgbe ahụ kwadokarịrị nnọọ ukwu n'ihe gbasatara ọrụ ugbo ọkachasị imepụta mmanụ Igbo.
Oge dịka oge ahụ ka Soludo chọrọ iweghachi azụ na Anambra steeti maka na o hụrụ ya anya na ọ bụ ụzọ kachasị mma a ga-eji chụọ ụbịam ọsọ ukwu elu ala.
N'ihi ya Gọvanọ Soludo na-ekesara ndị Anambra mkpụrụ akwụ na mkpụrụ akụ oyibo ka anyị kwado ezi ebumnobi a site n'ịkọ ma zụọ mkpụrụ erimeri ndị a ka ọ wee nwee agba dịka ọ dịbụ na mbụ.
Daddy, biko bịa zonye aka oyibo.
In line with its urban renewal agenda, the Soludo administration has started the Operation Clean Up Onitsha, Awka, Nnewi, Ekwulobia, and other major cities in the state. The governor, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, has already set the pace by personally joining in the desilting of gutters and drainages in Ochanja and its suburb. A sustainable, clean, green, and livable Anambra is possible. So, join in the drainage desilting campaign and Operation Keep Your Gutters Clean. Keep your environment clean. Clean your gutters regularly. Do not block drainages with refuse. Properly dispose of sachets, banana peels, and upper wraps. Please pay your sanitation levy to enable the government fulfill its obligations. The solution is here. Be part of the solution.
On assumption of office, Mr. Governor Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo declared a state of emergency on roads in Anambra State. He has since turned the entire state into a construction site. Within 10 months in office, over 270 kilometers of road have been flagged off and contractors paid 30 to 50% upfront. More roads are also being constructed and they will be done with tax money. Please join hands with Mr. Governor to give us more smooth, slicky roads in Anambra State. Remember, better soup na money killer. Nnukwu ano kpata nnukwu nkwụ, obele ano akpata obele nkwụ. Please pay your tax as at when due. Maka Odimma, Anambra State. This message is from Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS.
Aja na-ebute ọnụ mmanụ pụtara na anyị ga na-alụ ọlụ ọbụnadị ụbọchị Mọnde.
Solu dozie Anambra, ọ dị mma anyị dị anyị n'aka.
Ndị be anyị agboro abụrụ ọlụ ejirọkwana ya malụ ndị be anyị sọsọ ihe agboro ma butigbuo zogbuo kpafọ mfoju akpa gị onye Anambra jisie ike mụọ ọlụ aka iji gosipụta ọnatarachi gị jee chọọ ihe ị ga-eme ka ị wee nwee ugwu bara ndị be unu n'obodo anyị uru.
Solu dozie Anambra, ọ dị mma anyị dị anyị n'aka.
Ozi a si n'aka ụlọ ọrụ Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS.
Keke, why junction drop?
Enter 2000.
Hey, wahala. Keke, I don't see where you carry me go London or now. Why junction here?
2000 naira because this is where I get my tax money from.
I don't be tax. Who they pay tax?
I used to pay state government tax every month.
Hey.
You know they pay tax.
Wetin be tax, I beg?
Well, I used to pay state government tax every month. This money they pay me now. I used to come out.
This is ABS, Heartbeat of the East.
Good morning. Welcome. It's Good Morning, Anambra, and this is our discussion segment where we'll raise a topic and then start talking about it. It's participatory, so you can also call us from home to put in your own idea or suggestion of based on the topic that we are handling. Welcome. My name is Ijoma Uche, and today, if